Welcome back to another episode of Twisted Metal Companion. Over there, sitting on the far, hopefully on the far right of your screen, is Tyler. And joining us, you guys, I've been smiling ear to ear, been chomping at the bit to speak to the masked lady, as Sweet Tooth would call her, Tiana Okoye. How you doing?
I'm doing so great. How are you?
Doing great. Finally, great to finally connect with you.
Likewise.
Season two, all the episodes are finally dropped, and we don't have to be careful about spoilers or anything. So if you guys have not seen all of season two, you guys pause and come back later, please. Um,
Hmm.
so, Tiana, there's so much to talk to you about, like researching, watching videos, and reading stuff on you. We have no business speaking with you. I'm surprised that you even fit us into your busy schedule. So, uh, you know, correct me if I'm wrong with some of these things. I think if you listen to the Doughboys, people know that you're also the daughter of former NFL player, Christian Okoye, Hall of Famer. You've done dancing, tap dancing. I've seen a video of you tap dancing. You are a Disney princess, done Elsa, right? At
Queen,
Disney.
Queen.
Queen. Sorry, yeah. Honesty, the princess. You've done that in Tokyo and here in the
Yeah,
States,
yeah. In
right?
Tokyo, I was sang in a jazz review show for Tokyo Disney. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Holy
yeah.
cow. Yeah. It's several musicals, very notable
Hmm.
musicals. And you sang the national anthem at at a Chiefs game several
Hmm.
years back.
Hmm.
How do you find how do you find time for all this?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, you just gave like a resume of like 15 years. Like that's like, that's like a long time. When I graduated from UCLA, I think I really hit the ground running and I was very motivated. From the moment I got into school, I sort of looked around me and I was like, okay, I didn't go to a conservatory high school. I didn't go to the high school performing arts. I may not be the most talented person in the room, but I'm gonna get there because I'm gonna be the hardest working person. So I really buckled down. I did what I had to do. I had a lot of fun in college too, don't worry. But so as soon as I graduated, I just like got a tour. I got to work in regional theater. And then I got vocal nodules, so I had to sort of shift, and that's when I sort of started focusing more on TV and film, and really honing in on that part of my craft. Because I was recovering from having vocal nodules, and my voice was my everything, and so I just thought, like, my life was over for a brief moment.
Yeah.
um,
Wow.
so yeah, so I kind of started focusing there. I went to Tokyo, as you said, and did Big Band Beat at Tokyo Disney, which was the time of my life. It was so incredible. I'm obsessed with Japan, and all the fans were phenomenal. And so I just got to like heal and recover there. I came back, and that's when I started really doing a lot of theater. I got some co-stars on TV shows, Silicon Valley, The Good Place.
Oh,
Um,
Aquafina, Nora
yeah,
and Queens. Yeah.
yeah, Aquafina. When I was in New York, I got that. So yeah, I kind of got to bounce around a lot, and I still studied. I still, was in class, and while I was working at Disney, I was a busybody, so you're not wrong.
Yeah.
My friends called me
Yeah.
12 jobs T. I also worked at Barry's boot camp. So I was like fitness trainer. And then I would drive to Disneyland, which was like an hour away, and then I would perform my shows. I'd come back, do an audition, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Um
You mentioned UCLA. You even helped recruit, like assistant recruiter.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I worked for the football team, which at first I wasn't like
Who-
super stoked about. I have to say, my dad's like, "You need a job," and I was like, "Okay, fine." And so, he went with me over to the recruiting department. The guy that he knew, who was the head of recruiting, Angus McClure, and I met him, and he was like, "Great, yeah, you want to work in the office?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I did, and I'm so glad I did. It was one of the most fun jobs I ever had. I met some of my best friends ever. My maid of honor at my wedding, met her recruiting. Like she's my sister, my big sister, my everything. So I definitely had the time of my life doing that.
Yeah, and congratulations on the wedding. You just had one a few months ago.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, congrats to you
Thanks.
and the mister who's also a follower of the account. So appreciate that. I
Yes,
love the support.
yes.
Um, so with your father being like an athlete, is that something you were ever into as a young Tiana, or were you always into performing?
Um, yes, I was always very competitive as a child. Just like innately, I wanted to win. I wanted to do really well. As a child, I played soccer a lot. My dad actually, that was his favorite sport, was soccer, or football, depending on where you're at.
American football?
Yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 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 yeah. But so I played soccer, and one day I got hit in the face during a game. I was
Oof.
like, waiting for a girl to kick the ball back in. I was like growling at her or something, like just imagine like 6, 7-year-old Tiana, just like, on the field. And this girl kicked the ball in my face and
Wow.
laughed about it, broke like two of my teeth. And from that point forward, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing that. She just kicked the ball in my face, and
Right.
like, the thought of getting injured like really freaked me out. I was already so accident prone. I would do cartwheels into like fireplaces, and like you see the scar on my eyebrow, like that's been there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
natural. I didn't
Oh,
I don't I don't do the Charlie Puth like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thing.
Right.
This
I live Charlie Puth.
me too, me too.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that is a natural scar. Um
I got a 4 year
yes.
old with one a little bit more on the corner. Similar thing. He was being chased by auntie, and I think he hit, like the corner of a cabinet or something.
I
So,
mean,
kids,
pretty
what are you gonna do?
cool. Pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was a very active kid. Soccer, yes. So I stopped at that point. And I was already kind of like dipping my toes into theater and dancing. And I always really wanted to do that. I wanted to perform. As a kid, I was obsessed with being on the Disney Channel. At recess, I was either racing boys or I was writing songs with my friends. So I was very determined to like to do that, to like perform and be on TV and play characters, and really loved playing pretend. So yeah, I think I always had that creative side to me, but definitely I still am an athlete, at my core.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
tried a little volleyball.
yeah.
That was it. Yeah. That was
No,
it.
no, soccer and volleyball. I mean, those are, I mean, no thank you for me, like especially running. When you said soccer, I played like a few games of soccer for a local Laotian team, and I'm like, that's too much running for me, like I'm
Yeah.
good.
Well,
I don't
what's
run.
funny? I remember playing like club soccer, and I would, they would rotate us in position, so we all got a chance to play every position. And I hated being goalie so much because there was no action. Like I would get so bored. I would do cartwheels by the goalie, by the net. I hated it. I hated it. I wanted to be running around. I wanted to be at the front of the line and like driving the ball towards the goal.
Can you imagine the opposing team? They're like in a huddle. They're like, "Hey, it's the girl who does the cartwheels by the like, wait for the move."
Exactly. Exactly. Oops.
Like something you would see in the movie Ladybugs back in the day or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned like wanting to be on the Disney Channel. Like, what do you remember as your earliest memory in terms of like inspiration for like theater, the performing arts, or even singing?
Ooh. Okay, well, specifically, I'll kind of answer the question in two ways because there's the theater side and then there's the TV side too. For theater, I remember. my mom had taken me to see a show. It was just like a kids theater community show. A friend, I went to go
Mm,
see a friend in it, and it was
mm.
Annie. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be up there. Like I gotta do it. And so the next year I signed up for that community theater and stayed in it for throughout high school. Like I pretty much graduated with with in that kids community theater group. So from like 7 to 17. Um, yeah, I did that. And then, oh my gosh, earliest memories. I really loved Disney movies. I loved The Lion King. I loved the Goofy movie. I loved The Little Mermaid and Pocahontas. Like all of those classics that had the songs. And so I remember like I'd Pocahontas sheets. Pocahontas was like one of my favorites. And I would like jump on my mom's waterbed singing, you know,
Reflections or
yeah, all of I would just around the river bend or
mm,
colors of the wind, you know.
yeah. Oh,
I
Reflections of
was,
Mulan, I guess. My
yeah,
bad.
Mulan.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
loved Mulan.
Yeah, we love Mulan here.
Yeah, all of those films I just I fell in love with. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with the characters and the women. And um, yeah, it was just like really, really special to me. So Disney, wow, had more of an impact on me than I guess I realized.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then you know, on the TV side of things, I have early memories of me like staying up at my dad's old house and watching The Facts of Life and Laverne and
Mm.
Shirley.
No way. Okay.
Yes.
The kid shows, the kid shows, the
The kid
classics.
shows. I know. I'm like, what am I gonna do? But I would sit up and I would love watching Laverne and Shirley, The Facts of Life, I Love Lucy. Um,
The Golden Girls.
I never got into the Golden
Oh, okay.
Girls. I
Okay.
know. I know. I never got into the Golden Girls, but I loved I Love Lucy. Yeah, just those classics. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I love The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, my when I was 14, I was a very animated kid in terms of my expressions, and my mom said that I reminded her of Will Smith from Fresh Prince. And but
Wow.
like compliment, yes, but you're my mom, but
Yeah.
yeah, at the time I'm just like, well, yeah, I literally grew up on that. Family Matters and Full House were kind of the main three, and
Yes.
Say by the Bell too. So I guess those were like the top four for me growing up
Hmm.
as a young as a son of immigrants learning like the American culture were these shows.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, same. My dad, it's so interesting. My dad was a fan of those shows too, but and my dad came from Nigeria when he was 21, so much
Mm,
later. Um, but he's obsessed with Westerns,
mm.
which is so interesting to me. I'm like, wow, Westerns. And he was like, yeah, like it just, I think he would watch them back home in Nigeria. Like that was his connection to like
Oh,
American
stuff
cinema
like
or
Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, that type of stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So
My
that
dad
was
also
always fun.
loved some Clint Eastwood, so I wonder if there's something to that coming to like America and like seeing spaghetti westerns or something. I wonder.
Yeah, I
He
know. You're like, this
loved
is
the
what
good, the bad, the
America
ugly.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's a man with no name? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're speaking about your dad. Your mom also super supportive. Also follows me. I see the stuff that she shares, especially the stuff that I make. That have you in it. It's just I really
Yeah.
love it. Um, you played a mom. That was kind of a weird segue, like to bring up your mom and say like you played a mom.
Well, I
I
played
don't think
mom.
you played moms, but
I
in
did.
Panhandle, I watched Panhandle. You play a mom of a single mom of a 6-year-old boy named Tyler. Like the shout outs to Tyler on the other end there.
Hey,
Um,
Tyler.
what happened? What happened in the lighthouse? I want to know. And there's no more episodes, and I'm really mad at that
We'll
because I was
never know.
into it.
We will never know. You know, that show was so interesting because I didn't know what was going to happen until I read the
Oh,
next episode. Like we would shoot an episode and then I would get the next episode like while we were shooting that one. So I never knew how the series would end. I didn't know who did it
Right.
until we were like about to shoot that episode.
It
So
had me questioning. Yeah.
yeah, I had no idea. And I think our showrunner wanted it to be on purpose. Like she was like, I don't want anyone to know. I want you to just kind of be present in that moment. I was like, okay, great. Like then I'm gonna do that. But um I loved working on that show. I loved playing Cammy. I loved being a mom. Um, my little son was crazy. He was a crazy little man, um, but I loved it. I loved getting to be on set every day. I was working every single day, and I learned so much. That was like my first like real big job and big role,
Yeah.
series regular thing. So yeah, that was a big deal for me for sure.
It's quirky, it's charming as hell.
Mhm.
There's a lot of great moments. There's the crackhead that you apprehend, and you're finding like all these hidden, baggies and stuff. And there's a point where I think Cammy says like you're such a like terrible criminal or something, and because he keeps looking in the directions to tip off like he's hiding.
Oh wait,
It was
yes, and he has like the
so funny.
Confederate flag, the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing. Yes. Oh my
so
gosh, I
funny.
totally
It's
forgot
hilarious.
about that.
Yeah, I don't want to like spoil because I think it's still worth a watch, even though we don't get a conclusion. But I
Yeah.
was suspicious of Marcus, obviously. I think it was,
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
suspicious. But the lead, I didn't catch his name, but the guy who plays Bell, so
Luke
good.
Kirby. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I learned
so
so
good.
much from him. He was like such a great number one to have. He's so compassionate, caring. He's so focused. I loved um I loved working with him. We became such good friends. We still are, and he's so wonderful and so freaking talented. He has Emmys, for his work on Marvelous Miss Maisel. And he just was on a show, the ballet show on Prime, Etoile. Yeah, he was on that
Etwa,
show.
and
Yeah,
you. I think it's translated to and you,
yeah,
Etwa. I took a little
yeah.
French.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oui,
Un
oui.
peu, Hey, we can get by.
Yeah, yeah, just enough, you
Yeah,
know.
oui, that's it. Yeah.
Wait, wait. Uh-huh. Yeah, but he was amazing. I learned so much from him. I kind of we watched the pilot a few weeks ago because
Oh,
my father-in-law sent an email and he was like, "What Panhandle's on Tubi?" And so I went and I watched the pilot and I cringed. I just like went into the couch. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't watch this. It's so crazy to think like that was in 2020. I think that was 22.
22. Yeah, right after the pandemic, from what I read.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, I feel like a completely different person now. So I'm a little just slightly, I'm slightly glad that the show didn't, you know, blow
Yeah.
up the way that I had hoped it
I
would.
there's some really great stuff in it. So I mean, you mentioned Tubi. Yeah, it's all 8 episodes. They're available. Bingeable. It's fun. It's quirky.
It is. It's a great show. It's
Yeah,
so much fun. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ch Chakota, I think is probably my favorite guy.
Oh,
He's
so
so funny.
great. Forrest.
Forrest. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. He was in
stand out for me.
oh my God. Yeah, well he was in that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, played his son. The
Oh,
oh my gosh, that do you remember that movie was
uh,
nominated for like all of the awards?
it, the Departed.
Revenant?
Wait. Oh,
Revenant?
Revenant. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Revenant. He was in
Oh,
Revenant. Played
oh,
Leonardo
okay.
DiCaprio's son.
I don't know if I
Um
ever got into that one.
Yeah, he's native. He is so
Okay.
fucking cool. I really loved him. Yeah, and
He's
very
funny.
talented. He's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so funny, so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
his character is a stoner.
Yeah.
Gives the lead like was it called like DMT or whatever? Or,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Never tried. It's on my little bucket
Wow.
list, but like, I want to try.
Won't be me.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll give you
Yeah, let
notes.
me know how it is,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
won't. I
yeah.
don't think it'll be me.
All right. So that's all previous stuff. We'll get into Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would love to hear about is your experience going to San Diego Comic-Con, any fan interactions, and just kind of what the atmosphere was like for the Twisted Metal stuff. We've seen panels and you guys riding bumper cars, and I don't know if that was the first weekend in a while you've seen any of the cast members.
Yeah. Well, we've seen each other quite a
Okay.
bit actually. Patty is in the Groundlings, and so
Yeah.
we've gone to see her shows. We've had like little girls' nights, and we've gone to see her shows, and then gone to go get drinks later. We keep in touch. We have, the group text thread is thriving. Like we're
Yeah.
on that with everyone, and it's really, really nice.
Oh wow.
But yes, Comic-Con was the first time that I had seen Anthony Kerrigan in a long time, Anthony Mackie, Joe, Mitch I've seen. Yeah, when Captain America came out, we all got together and we went together to go see Captain America. So we try to have like little group outings and stay connected that way. I like to call
That's
myself the
awesome.
social chair of the Twisted Metal family, and I'll like throw things out and be like, "Hey, when can we plan karaoke?" Or like, does anyone want to go see Captain America? Or should we do something for this? Or whatever. I like community so much. I love this cast so much. So that was really important to me. But Comic-Con specifically, I mean, I'd never been before ever in my entire life. I had imagined what it would be like, and it just surpassed everything I could have imagined. The fans, everyone dressing up, walking around in like full committed outfits and taking photos, and it was so packed. There was a lot of people. Probably like a little, like I seem like an outgoing person, but I'm in like an introverted outrovert, so it was like a lot for me. I definitely took a lot of naps during Comic-Con. Like I would go back and just take like a lot of naps because
It's
I was
exhausting.
so it's yeah, I was
Yeah.
overstimulated,
Yeah.
but I do love meeting people, and I loved seeing all of this for the first time. It was really, really special. The panel was amazing. It was so cool to see that hall just filled with so many people that like wanted to hear about our show. And I knew that the fan base was strong, but I think like after Comic-Con, I really just my mind was blown. I was like, wow, like people really love this game. They love the show. And wow, like this is really, really special. And I'm so lucky that I got to be a part of this. So yeah, it was really great to see everyone, and see my cast and see MJ and Grant and the whole crew.
Yeah.
I roomed with Patty. Patty and I were roommates that weekend, which was so much fun. So I got to like follow her around when she had commitments for She-Hulk press stuff, and um, we had a great time. So it was pretty incredible. And the bumper cars, that activation was
Yeah.
so amazing. That's what my husband does. He does like he's done Comic-Con before, but he does premieres and
Wow.
is a creative producer for things like that. So like he'll come up with concepts similar to what the Twisted Metal activation was. And when he came, he was like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is
Yeah.
amazing. And it was really, really fun. So
Yeah. The pictures were amazing. We were living vicariously through those, just like
yeah.
yeah. I had a case of the FOMO, I think is what the kids are calling
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We obviously saw like a Sweet Tooth and a Calypso. I don't want to call them cosplayers because they're the guys that are also hosting some of these
Actors,
events.
yeah.
Yeah, the actors. So what was it like to see the dolls there represented as well?
I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I mean, there was a girl that was dressed in my costume, and I was blown away. She was walking like me. She was whipping around her stuff like the way that she was moving.
Carrying
I was
herself.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was me. I was like, how did you what? And the
You
actor
didn't
that played,
unmask her and see if it was like another Krista. Like,
I know, right? My long lost twin.
yeah.
But the actor that played Calypso was phenomenal, and he had like Anthony Carrigan's laugh down. It was really, really amazing. It was special. It was really cool to see like a whole group of dolls come out. I was starstruck, honestly. It was really
Yeah.
special. It was cool.
It looked really cool. You mentioned like the fan base and stuff like that, and kind of seeing what that was like. Did you have any connection or history with the games yourself?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I played Crash Bandicoot. I played if I went to my friend's house, I'd play like Mario, and I loved like my Game Boy Advance. So that's what I played. Um, but I will say before the show came out, my husband and I got Twisted Metal Black. And so
Okay.
we've been playing that, and it's been so fun to like experience the game like after filming, like I'm getting to
Yeah.
see, it was really cool. But I'm glad I went into it with fresh eyes. I'm glad that I had also MJ, who is just like this encyclopedia of knowledge of the show and like really wants to handle it with care, to really like lead me through everything and like the history of the game. And special weapons and all of these things. And I told him because I listened to a couple of your podcasts before we started
Oh,
filming. I
okay.
did. I was like, I want to. This is my way of like doing, more research. I
Research.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
like, of course. Oh my God. And I just was like so impressed. Um, yeah, I was impressed by the podcast. I loved listening to it, and I loved everything that you had to say and the deep dives into every episode. And so I was like, okay, wow, like I'm really stepping into something. I'd never done this other than like Disney, stepped into something that had such a big fan base,
Yeah.
so even though I didn't grow up with the game, I feel very much a part of it now.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then I
yeah.
know, yeah, and that's been really fun for me.
That's really cool to kind of hear you do it the other way around. Well, and it's not even like the other way as like a bad thing because you didn't have that history. Because I
Hmm.
was kind of misremembering the story because I know I also listened to Patty's interview on Doughboys, and I think she has a Switch. And so, but because like I'm watching the show and I don't
Hmm.
necessarily pick up on the Easter eggs unless it's something that I've already kind of researched and know about. You're going in and playing the games and you're probably seeing stuff like, oh, we did that on the show, or I've
Yeah.
seen that on the show. So it's kind of like the other way around. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in the moment I'm just like living it,
Right,
when I'm on set, which is like honestly probably how it should be, is that like it's just I'm present and this is
right.
the information that is coming at me and how do I deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you share kind of when you got a book Twisted Metal
Hmm.
because obviously we saw a little bit of Dollface already at the end of 110. And so like
Hmm.
she already kind of has a look. So what was the auditioning process like for Dollface?
Ooh, okay. Man, I really took a swing. I There wasn't a ton of information. Um, but I got my audition. I memorized the sides. I think I did the audition twice. I didn't like my first take. And I was like, you know what? This girl's like a character, and like Twisted Metal, this is a video game. And I actually had looked up like Dollface's storyline from the game, the different storylines, from the game and the different iterations of the game. And so I was like, okay, like let me play with that. And it's very still and kind of girly and playful, but like could fuck you up real quick. So I had it was a lot of fun for me to play with that and see what that felt like coming out of like my body and my mouth. And so I did my hair in like little space buns, like slicked back, kind of similar to this, but like space buns, like super, super
Uh-huh.
tight. And I had like my prop uh,
The
camera that I
mask. Oh.
used, my Polaroid camera. So I had like my prop
Oh.
Polaroid, and I used that. I like fully took a photo and would do my audition like that. So yeah, I fully stepped into it and I had so much fun doing that. And then that
So
was it. I think I had a callback and then that was it. I had
well,
callback sides and then I got it.
those first times you mentioned the Polaroid. So was it the introduction of Dollface in the first episode? Was that the scene that
Yes.
you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Without the mask, of
Before,
course.
right. Before the dance, and then
Yes,
yeah.
that whole
Okay.
bit. Yeah. Yeah,
I like that.
that was an audition side and then also um the scene with John in the car when I'm taking him to
Oh,
the drive-in, um, and I'm deciding, okay, we're gonna pull off and we're gonna go to the drive-in and I'm gonna have this moment with him and try to get him to remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you remember from fitting? Because like Joe, you have to wear a mask.
Hmm.
And if you can share like any discussions about how to like move Dollface to I guess kind of emote or give her expressions since we don't see her eyes.
No, it's tricky,
No?
right?
Yeah.
Well, this is where my theater training came in, the mask work.
Oh, theater. I'm an
Yeah, the
actor.
theater. But God, Joe is so good at it. He really is so expressive and um you really feel every line that he's saying. And luckily, I got to take off the mask quite a bit. So
Yeah.
it wasn't as intense for me, but I think I think that there's just like a beat before you move that you just kind of like get into. I remember for Frozen, before I did Elsa, I was in the ensemble and we had puppets that we had to and masks. We had puppets and masks that we had to use. And so I feel like I got a little bit of my mask training from Frozen. Because in the troll scene, we were like the our upper body was the troll and
Yeah.
on top of like a little mountain, and so we had our like faces, but then we also had to like move the arms in a specific way to make it look like they were actually singing and talking and lifelike. And we had like professional puppeteers obviously create those costumes and like all of that, but we also had them train us on how to move behind a mask. And so I feel like it came naturally once I got on set. Like it was absolutely fine. The mask fittings, everything, props did such a phenomenal job with that mask. Like it never bothered me. It was so easy. To be behind and take off and back on, it was really seamless. So once I stepped into it, I felt good.
Well, can you describe the lens? Is it one of those things where it's like I don't know if it's a two-way, so like you can see out, but we can barely see you, or
Mm,
is it a little bit of a darker tint?
yeah, it's a little bit of a darker tint.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like sunglasses or something, but you couldn't
Mm,
see my eyes, which was cool. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't even think about like the sunglasses because I forget which Spider-Man movie it was, but there's one of them where he cuts out like the lenses of sunglasses and puts it onto the actual mask. What was it,
Yeah.
the Tom Holland one maybe, or
Oh,
Andrew
probably.
Garfield? One of
Yeah, I don't
those.
remember. Yeah.
I don't. I remember it kind of being an interesting look. They're like, oh, well, of course, sunglasses. The one that makes sense. You can
Yeah,
still see
yeah.
through. Yeah, yeah. What do you remember from your first day on set?
Oh my gosh. My first day on set, I didn't have to do much. I had a pretty easy
Huh.
day. But it was still epic. My first day was that dark side with all of the dolls on the back of the rig.
Oh, yeah.
Was that. That was
Right.
my first day. And just that look towards John. That was all I did.
Oh,
But it was really special to like step on and like see all the dolls in their place, like on top of the cars and seeing that thing move. It was amazing. It was really, really cool
yeah.
to see. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the what the fuck Ashley was not on the same day.
No, I think that was maybe the next day or maybe 2 days after. Yeah.
I lost my shit when when she was like Lionel. I was like Lionel.
Yeah, you're like, who's that?
Well, my the first Lionel I went to was Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it was like Lionel from Thundercats because that's Lion O. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. They grew up 80s and 90s, so I was like trying to figure out. But it's just the most unassuming name, obviously,
I
for
know.
his character.
I
Do you have any insight
know.
on that on the name?
No, I
MJ didn't say.
don't. We'll have to ask MJ on that.
Yeah.
But I remember Anthony was teasing me because I said Lionel, and he was like, he was like Lionel, Lionel, and I'm like, we're from the Bay. Like, what are you talking about, Lionel?
Yeah, that's funny. I would have preferred that actually. I think that would have gotten,
Lionel?
a much more audible reaction from me. If you, who's first? So was Anthony the first person you met since that was your first day?
No, Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie.
Stephanie
Okay.
and Nikki, who plays Ashley.
Oh, Nikki
Yeah.
Duval, shout out. Yep.
Yes, yes. So those were
Or
the two that
Duval,
I first.
sorry, depending the region. We
Yes.
talked about that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, those were my girls the first day. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
What about you mentioned the side that you did for your audition. What can you share from filming the first appearance of Dollface and Krista in the whole Mace, let's just call it Mace, but yeah, that scene.
Oh, at the lube factory, that
Yeah, at the
one.
Loop Factory. One of my watchings, I was because it's the lube factory. I go, I wonder if this is in any way connected to Diesel City and the Emperor's lube guy that was shot. Like those could be considered the essential workers for him. This is where he gets his lube is
It
from these
is.
people. I
Yeah.
kind of wonder. So, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was it. That was the
Ah,
connection. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. You're spot
yeah,
on.
yeah. But it's like one of those blink and you miss it because when we first see the Emperor, he's in the background talking to other people, and so it's just
Yeah.
a throwaway line. And I think to many people, we're probably like, "Oh, that's just kind of funny because he's calling a lube guy essential worker." But if
Yeah.
you were paying attention to that first episode, they're in the lube factory. So
Yes,
yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I'm
Word's
sure
getting
that
around.
was, yeah, I wasn't there that day, that they shot that specific sequence. Um, I'm sure that was a last minute ad. I have to double check. But I'm sure
Yeah,
like MJ was really good about that. He was like, "Hey, would you just add this line? Just gonna like throw it away. Like, would you just add this?" You know?
yeah. He's good at
Just
that
to kind
stuff.
of, yeah, he's so good at just like connecting those pieces. So that you're like, oh wait, is it the guy from that first episode? Is that who they're talking about? Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because we're about to since we've done all the commentaries now that all the episodes out, we'll go back and start doing the individual breakdowns, and that'll be a great little tidbit,
Ooh.
with you confirming kind of, that.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
what about the flashback? We get a little night actually, did we get a year? No, it was 10 years. 10 years prior
Mm-hmm.
to, our current time. Yeah, what do you remember filming? And you got Claire McConnell in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other gals. But Lily Gao. Yeah, just kind of the
Yeah.
backstory on Krista.
Oh my gosh, that was such a cool day. It was a night shoot. So, for those, you start at like 6 p.m. and you've actually what did we start that day? I think we started at like 4 and we probably finished at like 5, 4 or 5.
Oh, 4
Um,
p.m.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So into Saturday. this early
Wow.
Saturday morning. So it was the end of the week for everyone, and like we had just spent the first half of the week in the doll camp outside, and it was really hot. The weather was crazy. It was weird. It was like raining 1 second and then like blazing hot. It was insane, and it was really tough to shoot. So everyone was like very burnt out. But um this was a really good, smooth day of shooting, and it was so much fun to film with those girls. And the guys were so incredible as well. They were so funny. But I was really excited to shoot this scene, and kind of get like that history of like, oh, how did the dolls start? And who are these women? And like, why are they following me? And what is our motive as a group? And I really loved seeing us all come together and like fuck these guys up and feel like we don't need their protection anymore. That we, if we just band together, like we can get all the resources we need. So I that was a pivotal moment for Krista to like step into that bathroom and see a group of women who thought that they needed all of these men to protect them, but really they just needed each other.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I loved that day. And also the Rancho Cucamonga, like random line. I'm from Rancho Cucamonga. And so I was like, MJ, did you know that? And he was like, no, what? You're from? And I was like, yeah, I'm from Rancho Cucamonga. Like that's so insane and so random that that was put in that episode. But I loved
Yeah.
it.
Crazy things like that has happened. And I mentioned all the time on the podcast how I covered Cobra Kai, and there was
Hmm.
one season, a new character that was introduced. His father was Major Payne, and then we're like, oh, clearly, clearly a nod to the Major Payne movie. It wasn't. It was a complete coincidence. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when
Yeah,
it
the
happens that way. You're like, okay, it was meant to be. It was like,
right.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, I remember Claire mentioning like she had never really held a gun on screen before. But
Hmm.
the scene where the women are shooting the boyfriends, I love the blocking and the framing of it. Like it just, yeah, it
Oh,
reminds me of like that you mentioned westerns. There's that western like bad, I think it was Bad Girls with like Madeline
yes.
Stowe and Drew Barrymore. Kind of reminds me of something like
Hmm.
that.
Oh, absolutely. Or like Charlie's Angels. Like it's
Yeah.
just giving like badass women who are here to fight crime and fuck shit up. I loved that scene so much, and we really were set up with success with our stunt team and everything. And those guys were all stunt performers as well, so they were on it. They did such a good job getting
Yeah.
fake hit and falling to the ground. It was crazy.
Yeah. Do we know if they are like members to a specific community? Like we were kind of wondering if they were kind of like early vultures or something. Like we couldn't really get based off the costume,
Oh,
we couldn't figure them out.
yeah.
Especially Krista's boyfriend. We're like he looks wet beyond the years. This guy's like brand new, and his uniform doesn't really quite look all worn. Like he just got it. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good question for MJ.
yeah, yeah.
But I would assume that they're probably like vultures. Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Um, One of my favorite moments is first off, I love the dynamic between Krista and John. I feel that's like me and my sister, and that's why I connected with that pairing so much. Because
Oh.
I got a sister that has always I'm kind of father figure to my sisters. I'm the oldest and the oldest brother. Um, but anyway, I love that dynamic, and one of my favorite moments is getting reacquainted with John and that awkward hug.
Hmm.
If you could if you could talk about that, how many takes? I love the part where like he taps Krista's the back of her head, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right, this is long enough to push back, and then Krista kind of even like touches like fixes her hair backwards. I don't know. I love all of that comedic physicality there.
I loved it too. It really turned out well. I don't think we did too many takes of that one
Okay.
actually. But that awkwardness is just, oh, it's just written so well. And I think Anthony did such a good job of really committing to his point of view of I okay, this is how I'm supposed to behave, right? That you're my sister. I hug you. And for me, I have that history already. Like I have those memories. I have that longing for that relationship. So like I think that that's the comedy is that we are just coming from like opposing point of view, really just meeting in the middle and having to like physically interact. And it's awkward as fuck, you know? It's
Yeah.
so awkward. So I think like what makes it funny is like the commitment to each side.
Yeah.
But that was
I
fun
think
for sure.
I think some people like they kind of forget because we know who Krista is. We know her relation. We've known since episode 110, the finale. Like she says,
Hmm.
you know my brother. He goes by the name of John, and
Hmm.
so we know that going in. And if you watch season two, this is the first time he's finding out that she is his sister. Because Quiet says there's somebody else that's also happy to see you. So he looks over and there's just this woman, like, and there's no other context. And
Yeah.
then there's that beat. It's like, I'm your sister, and that's when
Yes.
he realizes it. So he's still processing during the hug.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's like, okay, what do you want me to do
Right.
now? And I'm like, I'm here. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Right. I guess we hug.
cool.
We'll did.
Yeah,
Um, Now, what about the drive-in? So much to love, right? You
my
you mentioned
favorite.
like, yeah, the drive, but you do so much, and the first part that I have up is the part where you guys get shot at, and 'cause there's almost a heated back and forth. It escalates for sure. And the last line shouted by John was "Lionel's dead," and then boom, there's like Axel shoots at them. If you could
Yeah.
remember, kind of recall that, were you guys also part of that particular stunt? Because you don't expect it, obviously, right?
Hmm.
And it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, we were. I think some of the like the explosions were maybe visual effects after,
Hmm.
but yeah, we were part of all of that, the running and then like the falling onto the floor. Um Actually, I think getting the getting pulled back, I think we did have our stunt doubles do that part, but for the most part, we were doing it that
Yeah.
day. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
What about after the shot to Krista's face, the ricochet rather? And I just love how you play it. You kind of angle your face. You're like, is it bad? Is it bad? And he's like, oh, it's barely noticeable. And she's like, ooh, and she's like, I fucking know you. You're like, you're my brother. I know when you're lying. That kind of thing. Like that's
Yeah,
just so funny because it comes at you so fast.
yeah, yeah. That was really, really fun. We had, it was another one of those like it was a week of like night shoots. And so it was crazy. Like your body is like, what day is it? What's going on? But we had so much fun. Like I had so much fun specifically in those scenes and shooting them with Anthony. I felt like it was like a real bonding moment for us.
I
Because we
feel
were like teasing each other in real time and then also like playing brother and sister and getting to do this, back and forth. So it was good. It was fun.
what about the part where I don't know if there's like any sort of for choreography in terms of like because there's a point where okay, so Krista is shouting because she's pissed off of getting the shot on her face, and then she kicks John and John shouts, and so there's like this taking turns of covering each other's mouth. It's very funny, very subtle, but I feel like there's a bit of a cadence that you guys have to do to kind of make that
Yes.
work. Yeah.
You know, we kind of we did that really fast. Like I'm
Okay.
actually looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, like we got that down really, really quickly. We're like, okay, you're gonna cover my we did ow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was like, and we knew exactly what to do. And of course, the editing and the back and forth there is what makes it. Like
Yeah.
we could do that in real time, but if the editing doesn't match up, then it's for nothing. So like really
Yeah.
hats off to the team for doing that one because they
Yeah.
really solidified that comedic timing, I think. That's what makes it
Absolutely,
funny. Yeah.
100%. It's a timing that really sells that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And it kind of shouldn't be because like Axel is like roaming around looking for these two too. So you're supposed to
Yes.
also kind of be in suspense. Speaking of Axel, your interactions with Michael James Shaw that day when we first get his
Yeah.
reveal.
Oh my gosh. I mean, everyone was just like waiting for him to step into the wheels. It was so fucking cool to see. And like the atmosphere was already happening. There was smoke. And he steps in, and we're all like, we just screamed all the explosions that day. That was the first day I actually, yeah, that was the first day I saw big explosions on set.
Mm,
Because for the most part, all of the car chases and stuff, stunts would be doing that. So it was my first time getting to see all of that and witnessing him come through the explosion on the wheels. It was so, so extravagant. Like
yeah.
he looks so powerful and he does this like battle cry, yell, like scream, and you're like, oh fuck, that's Axel. Like, wow, 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 wow. And I think that there's this element from Krista, and she's like, okay, yeah, should I fear you or should I want you?
Those abs.
Because yeah, I think she's kind of like, what is that? And also, who is that?
I got mixed feelings here. Like
I got I got mixed feelings. There's a lot going on in there.
a lot to process for sure.
Yeah.
Um, there's a really great sequence with in episode 4, Dollface versus Sweet Tooth, but also Mayhem gets in there. Did not expect Lil Mayhem to make her way in and save Dollface.
I know. That little shit. She saved the day.
Yeah, little shit, as Quiet calls her. Yeah. Why
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
little shit? Something like that.
Um,
Sailor's so good in season 2. She's a new character, original
she,
character.
yeah, I mean, everyone is so phenomenal in the show, but I have to say, like, Sailor steals it for me. She is so talented and like so young and fresh, and her take on mayhem is so funny and grounded and fierce, and your heart breaks like watching, as you get closer to the end of the series and you really feel for her and you're attached to that character. It's like I'm so in awe of her and impressed by her performance. Like she just did such a good job. But yeah, that sequence was so much fun. It was so much fun to learn that choreography, even though I didn't get to do all of it. I wanted to so bad. I wanted to so bad, but I didn't get to do all of it. But it was so much fun, and like it was my first time getting to be on set with Joe,
Hmm.
and I thought that was really special. I'm like, okay, it's our first time getting to actually act together on set, and we're fighting, and this is really cute. This is a nice
And
little
you're
bonding moment for us.
and you're both wearing masks, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. Was that challenging for the bits that you did fighting Sweet Tooth?
A little bit. Yeah.
Mm,
Because there's certain things that you kind of want to like keep for camera, but once you know where you're going and also hitting your marks, there's a lot of sandbags on the floor that
mm,
day.
yeah,
Because like hitting your marks in that small room was difficult, especially when you have a mask on with
right.
sunglasses. So it was a little challenging, but nothing that we couldn't get past.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one. Like I was trying to get a good read. I think it's funny how like once Dollface like escapes that little room, Sweet Tooth just drops to the ground and it's like mass lady. And so anybody that follows me on Instagram, if they saw me share that clip, it was a little clue to tip them off that I was interviewing you next. It's
Oh,
just
cute.
yeah. I put it in the stories. It's literally just a few seconds of Sweet Tooth on the floor. That's mass lady. That's it. Now, episode 5, when we finally meet a lot of the new drivers, great moments
Hmm.
shared between Dollface and Axel. So can
Yeah.
you talk about Dollface and her infatuation with Axel in that moment?
Oh, I think it's two parts. I think that yeah, I think she's attracted to him. Who wouldn't be? But I think she also she's a smart girl. She knows how to manipulate and get what she wants. So I think it is also a tactic to maybe throw him off. And just keep him in her back pocket. Like she's like, okay, I got you. You know what I mean? Like I know exactly how to work you. I know how to rile you up. And I know what you're looking at. So let me just come in, give you a little taste, and then walk away and let you follow the scent. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, we end with that scene with him gulping on some gasoline.
Yeah.
Uh, Sean Diston penned that episode. Was that scene pretty much on paper, or did you guys play with any other lines you recall?
I checked I remember I did that when, yeah.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like maybe this is just like a slight moment of her being like, okay, wait, actually though, like let me make sure I'm good. Like I do want to
Right.
impress him, but okay, we're good.
It was a nice little
Um,
touch. I don't think I
yeah.
mentioned this in the commentary, but like when I see that sometimes, because I don't think they exist anymore. I thought it would have been funny if she had like some banaka, and
I
just
know. Yeah, I
yeah,
know, but the moment's almost too quick. Like you just got to like really quickly.
right. Yeah, just
Okay, we're
check
good.
because he's walking around that wheel or that
Yeah.
that tire rather, and I love that too because people, the fans, they wanted Axel, and so the
Oh
show's
yeah.
gonna give it to them, and so I love how they have Axel walk around just to show off his backside too,
Yeah.
just in case you guys couldn't tell, Michael James Shaw be working out
Oh
his back.
man, yeah, he was on set every day with his kettlebell and his
Yeah,
bands just to get a quick extra pump before he was oiled up and put in those
it's
those
important.
wheels.
It's
I
important,
loved it. Yeah, it is. And he delivered, man. He delivered. He did a good job.
he's so good. All right. So when did you find out that we would be losing Dollface, one of our most meaningful deaths, where I was gutted. I reached out to you, I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with sharing that. I was just like, I'm truly gutted. I did not expect that. And I just shared how I was connecting with that parent because I have a similar relationship with my sister.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was heartbreaking. But I found out as soon as I booked the
Okay.
show. MJ called me and wanted to just like tell me about his vision for Dollface and like where she was going. And so he told me everything. He told me what was going to happen. And so it was really nice to have that secret throughout the whole series. And even when the show came out, I mean, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my dad. My husband knew, but that was it. And I didn't tell any of my friends. So when that episode dropped and Dollface died, I got so many texts. Everyone's like, "What? You're dead, Tiana?" And I was like, "I know, but you have to keep watching because the show's so good. Like, I promise it gets so much better." But I didn't want to like say keep watching for me because like no, the show is still so good. I'm like, family, friends, like you got to keep watching because the show is actually incredible. And um you got to watch to the end. And so I think it was like a fun surprise for everyone for sure. But I knew going in that I was gonna die. I
Yeah.
knew. Yeah.
So in between episodes 6 and 12, when did you actually wrap? Was it after they filmed 12, or did you film your
After,
sequence of the?
yeah, yeah, I filmed. I had a little break for those episodes I wasn't in. And then I came back and did my final episode.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. So it wasn't like I did those while I was still in Toronto, you know? There was
Yeah.
also a lot of moving parts. I mean, that costume is so intricate and like detailed, and you had to get like multiples of it too. Like I think there was three suits in total. There was two stunt performer costumes and then mine. So the two stunt performers, one of them is the one that came down in the box and it opened, and he's a man. And then my the other one, her name's Tiana, and she did a lot of Dollface. Isn't that so crazy? Her name's
Yeah.
Tiana.
Yeah.
And
It's,
it's crazy. I'm gonna post a photo of me and her on my feed, but like such a good match. And she was so good. So, so, so good. I wish I like did more for that girl. I bought her a massage because she rolled around, she did so much for me. And um she it was so talented and really also helped me. Like I would ask her questions like when I would have to do stunts and after my stunt rehearsals. So I was really thankful for her. But um yeah, so the costume was really, really detailed and intricate and took a long time to make. And so it had to be until the very end.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
what can you share about filming your death scene and that day, interactions with the other cast members?
Yeah,
Um, you've spent several, I don't know, a couple months or so at that point.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was tough. I was really sad. I never died before. Um so yeah, I was sad. And what was difficult on that day specifically is we were second unit, which means that they were filming other things and other scenes and sequences somewhere else that day. So I didn't get to see anybody. I was like kind of on my own with stunts. And so that was hard. I was sad that I didn't get to like be with everyone that day, especially because it was emotional and um so devastating and a really difficult death. So yeah, that was a bummer for sure. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it.
yeah.
It was just devastating, like especially to do over and over, you're like, "Oh my God, I'm dying." And like the blood in your mouth and the feeling of getting like harpooned right through the
Yeah.
chest.
You know,
Um
if we were doing because we approached our review this season differently because of the unique format that Peacock released it in. Had we already been doing our episode breakdowns, I think I felt like I would have said something in episode three, I think, is when around the campfire, we were talking about mayhem earlier, and like I love the point where Sailor's like asking for TP, and she does like this face, almost a little embarrassed to be asking, like,
yeah.
anybody got some TP? Hmm? Kind of like
Yeah.
that. But in that scene, I think is when Krista says like, that's why I'm entering. Like I would have been like, this doesn't sound good. I go, John, Dollface, and Krista, someone's gonna die. So I would
Yeah,
have picked up on that. So it's right there if you're looking for it.
it
So
is.
I just
Yeah.
you're just not gonna know when, unfortunately.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think she knows too. I think that Krista Dollface, she knows that she potentially could die. And I think that
Yeah.
she's willing to do it for the sake of the mission and the cause of bringing the walls down. I think that that's more important to her.
100%. And that makes it all more frustrating when John changes the wish. Like I understand,
Yeah.
why you did that, but this is above you, dude, and so like
Yeah.
Krista I think we might, Tyler, did we even talk about that? Like
Oh yeah,
Krista sacrificed, and here's John talking about like, oh, I want my sister back. Like, dude,
yeah. It's
like this is all for, yeah.
like
So
Yeah.
once you get her back, like how happy is she gonna be that you did this?
right, like motherfucker, you brought me back and the walls aren't down.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your death scene, nobody's around. Um, prom scene was the following. No, that was no, that's 3 episodes later.
Six. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Or
Okay,
two.
so
Two. Yeah.
but to,
Wait.
basically what
Oh,
I'm
no,
getting
you're
at
right.
is, yeah, what in your mind, what would Krista had worn to the prom if she was in that episode?
Oh my gosh. Um, well, she makes everything that she wears. So I
What it
feel
would it be closer to kind of her like military look with like those ribbons and keys, or would it be more like the other flowing gown that she wears in episode 2? Something more like that?
Ye- I feel like, yeah,
Extravagant.
I feel like it would have been something like that. The military is when she's in battle mode, and I feel like this would have
Fair.
been a moment for her to like really show herself off. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I created like a vision board before I started this job on Pinterest of just like her makeup and like what her room would look like and her inspirations. And I off of all of those things, I definitely think it would have been something kind of close to like Brandy and Aaliyah
Okay.
or like a TLC look that was
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So inspiration from those three into something like incredibly fierce, whether it was like a pantsuit that was like really sexy, or like I could see her wearing something like that. You know what I mean? That like
Oh, sure. Like the like the you mentioned TLC and Aaliyah, like the baggy pants with like the showing off your
yes.
midriff a little bit, maybe with
Yes,
this.
but like a
Yeah.
fancy version of that. I could
Right.
see, you know what I mean? I could see something
Yeah.
like
Something
that
I could
happening.
picture like Monica wearing too. Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monica and Meyer were like kind of my two favorites growing up.
Yes. Yes. So
Speaking
good.
of music, did you have
Mhm.
any favorite needle drops from the season? So much during the prom episode.
Oh my God. I know. I know. There was so much. Butterfly was so great.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
loved,
Tyler loved it.
well, yeah. We were supposed to have Missy Elliott, I think,
What?
for I know, for Dollface and John's first interaction when he's in the ambulance and she's
Oh,
yeah. So I think that was supposed to
like get your
be
freak on? It was supposed to be like
yeah.
get your freak on or something. Really? She's my
Yeah.
favorite performer and my favorite entertainer ever since high school. I've always loved Missy Elliott. Like
Yeah.
when Katy Perry performed the Super Bowl, Missy showed up
Yeah.
and I lost my shit.
I know.
And
I know.
yeah, so good.
Oh,
Wow.
she's amazing. I
I would
know,
love
but I
that.
don't think they couldn't get it. But DMX was
Rough
pretty
Riders were that works.
oh,
Yeah,
it worked
Rough Riders
so
anthem,
well.
so good. Yeah,
So,
and
so well.
RIP. So it's
I
it all works.
know. I know. It really, yeah, it really does. God, the music was so incredible. This season was
Yeah, so good.
so good.
They really stood
I
out. Yeah,
Michelle Branch everywhere.
yeah, yeah,
And then also I think was it the Cranberries at the end?
yeah, yeah. Cranberries Dreams. Yeah,
My
yep.
God, one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah, I haven't made a post on this, but I did mention it in the commentary that MJ also penned an episode on Cobra Kai where that song is referenced, and so
Yeah,
I love seeing him write the finale and actually including the song into it. So
I
it
know.
kind of full circle for him there.
Yeah.
Um, so the reveal and the twist. What do you remember filming the scene? We got uh, you know the reveal and Minion is choking John, and
hmm
then it also leads into like the Quiet and Mayhem showing up in Stu Point Oh. Also, like when was the first time you saw Mitch in that Mike Mitchell
That
in
day.
that get up that day,
That
the same
day.
day? Okay.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm glad that we gave the fans what they wanted, and that was for Mitch to win. I remember texting him when like I think Peacock did the choose your player
Oh
thing,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the comments underneath that post it said Mitch or I'm picking Stu. Stu, my bet's on Stu. Stu's winning the tournament. Like I was dying. I'm like, look at you, Mitch. Everyone loves you. Because he could be so self-deprecating, you know. Mitch is so
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Like,
that's
and I'm like, oh God. Like I was supposed to see him last night. I invited him to an event that my friends were putting on. I was like, come, come, come. Like, I want you to meet so and so. And he sent me like two voice memos. We're like, hey, will you hate me if I can't call? Oh God, I have to fly to Toronto and I'm shooting this show and I gotta would you hate me? I had to do a suit fitting today and it's just I'm doing too much. Um and then he sent another one. It was like, am I an asshole? Am I an asshole? Tell me if I'm an asshole. And I'm like, Mitch, shut the fuck up. You're not an asshole. It is okay. You're absolutely insane. So I'm glad he won the tournament and gets, got that moment. But that first reveal with the head with are you talking about when John and I are fighting in the
yes,
childhood bedroom?
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a really tough day physically. Like the weather and everything was insane. That costume is
hot. Um,
incredible. It's hot. Yes, it's
yeah,
very hot. So I had this vest on underneath, and they do this for a lot of super suits, I guess. But it has this tube that runs through it.
mm,
And so in between takes or setups, you can sort of hook yourself up to this like ice ice block thing that has ice water in it. So it
nice.
pumps the ice water through your vest and it cools you off like instantly.
Right, like an AC
So,
unit.
oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, so great. But it was, yeah, it was tough. It was that it's really big. I'm like towering over Anthony in that costume, which is like so fun. Especially with that like brother sister dynamic. But yeah, it was very taxing physically, I think, that day. And it was the end, it's the end of the road for our crew and the set and all the actors, like the final episode. So it was everyone's exhausted and we're just like trying to get it right. And yeah, so it was a bit of a hard day, but we got through it. And I think it
yeah.
turned out
Physic.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Tyler during our commentary both because like when we did that, I believe it was probably both of our second watchings, Tyler. Like,
Mhm.
right? Was
Yeah.
that, yeah? So we were still processing it, and it was still relatively fresh. And so we both kind of said it felt a little unbalanced, but there's so much going on. Like I went back and rewatched it afterwards, and I felt like I was a little unfair. And I was just like, no, like it's just it needs a lot of room to breathe. And the fact that we got three episodes, like you almost feel obligated to hit all three in one sitting. That's how I did it.
Yes,
So if you just do it one
yes,
episode at a time, it's such more easier to consume that way.
yes.
So
I
yeah,
know. I
it's a
agree.
lot
I
going.
agree with you for sure, for sure. It is, it's a lot going on, a lot to process, and you're like, what is happening? I mean, even when we watched it as a group last week, we only watched the last two episodes, so that was nice. It was
Right,
good. And Lisa hadn't seen it. Like she didn't
right.
know what
Yeah, you
happened.
you
Yeah, she,
posted a
she
TikTok, right? Yeah.
yeah, it was so fun to watch her see it for the first time. She had no idea that I was Minion. She had no idea that I came. She was like, "Oh, that's you. Did you know? Did you know?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I didn't, Lisa. I didn't. I didn't know. They
Just
CGI'd
called
my
me.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget was real high. They just
MJ, like, you
CGI.
doing anything, Like, hey,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could shorten you the stand-in.
Yeah, but I know after speaking with MJ that night, actually, I know that specific sequence went under a lot of edits. I think it was too long for a bit, and then they cut it down. And I think, when I came back into the living room and John hits my back and I fall to the ground, and I think Quiet and Mayhem and Stu are at the door. When we were filming that, they were kind of at the door for too long. Like it was
Mm.
like, what is happening? How would they just be standing there watching him,
Right,
right?
doing nothing. Yeah.
Doing nothing. So MJ MJ threw in the flashbacks, the like light bulb
Ah,
memories of Krista. And I think it was such a good call and it made that whole sequence like heartbreaking.
yeah.
Because and really solidified the fact that, Krista's still in there,
Yeah.
Um, so and left a little bit of hope for John. So yeah, I think that that whole sequence was handled with care and it turned out actually really, really well.
Well, it's so good. I mean, I was not kidding. I'm sure people were maybe trying to do the math when I shared in my stories that I was like, I've already seen the episodes of season two more than I have one. Like, how's that possible? Well, like when I work, I often just throw it on in the background and I'll just kind of glance over. So like often I'm listening. And so what's nice when we do our episode breakdowns, I go back and I start watching a lot more vividly and I'm catching things. And
Mm,
so yeah, it's so good that I just love to keep hearing things and just glance over and just it just makes me happy. Season two is so good.
I
Um,
know.
so as we get ready to wrap up, I got a few more questions.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything that might have been cut that you remember filming that yeah just didn't make it into the final product? Deleted scenes, outtakes, bloopers, fun stuff to kind of share for the people that like that stuff.
Yeah, there was a funny moment at the doll camp. This is the first one I remember. And Ashley has a line. I'm giving a speech,
Yeah.
as I do a lot in this season. I'm going to be giving a speech to all the dolls. And I'm saying, was it this? Is it that? And then she comes in. I forget what the line is specifically.
Is it when
But
she wants to volunteer herself?
it's
Her
before
like
it's
after
before
quiet?
that. It's before that.
Let's
Yeah. So
see.
I'm saying I'm congratulating everyone after the raid at the lube factory. And I'm saying,
Right.
hey, like who
Yeah.
did this? You did this, you did this, and we're just getting started. Ashley has some line, I forget what it was, but it was so fucking funny, but it got cut. I think it just kind of slowed down the momentum of that scene. There also was a moment in Krista's flashback, a whole sequence where I'm like walking with my boyfriend into that Applebee's looking place, that pizza
Okay.
place.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a whole exchange with the bags and yeah, there was a whole moment kind of walking in there before I sat down. But
Okay.
what made the episode was just, I think, from the car straight cut to us sitting down at the table. Um,
Yeah. So that's pacing. Yeah, I can understand that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pacing. I'm sure people have things to say about prom. I'm sure there were things that were cut. Actually, I know specifically that Richard DeClerc had like this long dance break that he got coached on. He took it so seriously. He was like, I want to get this. I hope he's okay with me saying this, but he was like, I want to get this movement right. Like I want to dance and and so he went in, got a hernia
Oh no.
doing this dance, and then that was the take that they used. Just the end of
Yeah.
it with the other. I was like, wow, you committed. He committed to the bit.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm sure that there was more from prom that was cut. Uh, there was parts of actually the fight scene at the end in episode 12 at the cabin that was cut. There's a whole
Mm.
bit where I'm supposed to like throw mayhem over the table, and I throw John around a lot in the living room. Um, so a lot of that was cut down.
Yeah.
That's all I can
I think
remember.
yeah, I think what we got was really good. So it sounds like a lot of the cuts were pretty much just for pacing stuff. It's 30
Yeah.
minutes and you want to get everything. You got a narrative and yeah, just you got to kill your darlings sometimes. I think is the expression.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's good to be over prepared. I mean, it's fine that
Yeah.
the things were a little bit longer, and it gives you, gives you room to decide, what is most important there and what you want to cut
Yeah.
down. So I think they did a phenomenal job.
So similar to those, can you think of like some major bloopers, whether lines that just couldn't get down, or sequences where it's just too fucking funny, you guys couldn't hold a straight face. I
Okay.
feel there's gotta be a lot of those with the show.
Yeah. Oh,
I
okay. So
feel
yeah, the drive-in sequence of me and Anthony and sewing that. I did actually like sew the prosthetic that was on my face. So
Oh,
that was really crazy of me to do, actually, to myself. But I did it and it was disgusting, but like there were a lot of bloopers with me and Anthony, like getting the needle and thread and like throwing it and just okay, and then we would like set up again and we would try again and like fuck it up. So there were some moments there. Also that scene where John is yelling at Axel saying, "Hey man, I know we had, you know," and he doesn't hear anything. That bit, like we had some moments where we had to restart, but it was so fun. And then Anthony and I just like running off. Um,
I knew
yeah.
exactly what was going on
Yeah.
when John was talking and it immediately cuts to Axel. I go, oh, they're doing that thing like we seen it in Shazam too, where the bad guy's talking, but he's so far away. He's
Yeah, and you're
like,
like, what?
but
I can't
but
hear you, bro.
Axel's great line is just like, you gotta talk with your big boy voice.
Oh my God. I know, I loved
The
it. I loved
shade.
it
Oh,
so much, so much. Um, okay, also another funny.
what about Zimu? Like, there's got to be some outtakes with Zimu. He's like, wait, what? Is that how it's coming off? Like, no, like this, doesn't see colors or is color that
God, I
that
loved
whole
that scene so much.
so funny.
God, the
It's
writing
the
is
way he
so
looks too,
great. I
because
know.
this doctor has a gun to Krista's face. I'm setting this up here,
Knife.
and he oh, a knife. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
he's got a knife. He is ready. He is willing and ready to slit a throat. Yet he's just kind of being cautious. Like, hold on, I don't want to come off racist here. Is that how it's coming off?
Wait
Like,
a second.
that's your
Yeah.
concern. That's your concern here. Like, okay.
And the fact that his last words were, some of my best friends are
So
black.
yeah, yeah, hilarious. So well written.
I
I think
died.
was that like Hadia Robinson, I think was
I
the
have to double
writer.
check on that
Yeah.
episode.
I there's
Oh
so
my gosh,
yeah,
so
there's a few
good.
writers I follow. They're not as active on social media, so like I don't get to see the name as often and kind of familiarize with it.
Oh man.
Okay. Okay, so the episodes you were not in, and if you can remember the ones that you got to watch were when the rest of us were watching on a Thursday,
Hmm.
some surprises or just scenes that you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Stuff that you didn't know that you saw in real time.
Um, so a lot of it had to do with the school scenes and
Yeah.
and the roommates and all of that. I laughed so hard at Lisa Gilroy. I thought her choices were so brilliant. And um she just her character cracked me up. Like the way that she would just kind of pop into scenes and just be the comedic relief. Like it was so well written and so well executed. And it just, yeah, it surprised me. Like my jaw would be on the floor, and then her and Richard fucking at the end of prom, like absolutely killed me. She's like, "Was I a bet?" Like absolutely me on the
Yeah,
floor.
it's so
Um,
good.
yeah, she's brilliant. They both are. I just thought everyone just did so
What
well.
about
And
what about her physical where she tries to like kiss the doctor?
oh, whatever she's doing with her mouth, I don't, that
Yeah,
girl, what the fuck is she doing with
yeah,
her mouth? I
yeah,
I loved it though. You know, she never gets to play roles like that and just be
right.
a complete fucking like weirdo. And she is a weirdo, and she's so smart. And so I think she really just like dove in and fucking smashed it. She really did. So yeah, all of her scenes I really, really loved. Um, oh man, what else surprised me? Ooh, the Chucky Floop and Mayhem
Oh,
fight.
the hand-to-hand
Oh.
combat. Come on, like we didn't know Mayhem could fight. That was good. That was amazing. That was
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, sailor girl.
Where she learned that?
That,
Vultures? Like
yeah,
if we believe Mayhem is the little baby from Axel's backstory, she was captured by vultures. So she learned this from the vultures? Like where she learned this? Did she just escape them? What happened?
I know. No. We'll have to ask her. But yeah, so that was like really I was surprised and like so impressed by that. Um
We're taking up a lot of your time. If we can, how about let's end with like a wrap party, what the vibes were like. Maybe seeing some faces you hadn't seen in a minute. We don't want to embarrass anybody, but just some fun stuff for the viewers and the listeners from the wrap party, because none of this stuff is usually like ever publicized, so we only get glimpse of it in stories and posts
mhm.
on social media and stuff. But I'd love to hear maybe some gifts that were given. You don't have to say who got what, but I love hearing like the types of gifts at wrap parties,
Oh,
things like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrap parties are so they're weird because everyone's
Mm,
exhausted and you want to celebrate, but like what sucks is usually they're the day after everyone wraps and usually not everyone is wrapped.
mm,
So, costumes and hair and makeup, they have so much to pack up and so much to do the day after. So they can't really like go in and like party and really let loose. And so, that's hard and it's kind of like it's weird.
yeah.
And everyone's also just like tired and rolling in, and like trying to have fun. Yeah, there were some grips that the got pretty sloshed. That was fun. Um Phil came back because I think he was shooting.
Director, director
Yes.
Phil. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say his last name? Do you know? I've been trying to figure that out. No, okay. It's a
Um,
tough one. It's a tough one.
he's Italian, right? Is this Italian?
It looks Italian, as like Sgriccia or something like that. If I could pull it up, but I
Yeah,
struggle. I'm sure I butcher it every
I
single
know.
episode that
I
he's
I
done.
butcher everyone's name, so I'm gonna stay away. Also,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
butcher my name, so that's okay. We're okay.
yeah,
Phil. Yes,
yeah.
director of
Phil,
our
episode
blocks one,
one,
yeah, 1 and 2,
two.
four,
Okay,
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think he did those 2 blocks. I think that was
you could
it.
be right.
Yeah.
Ian did seven. Birdie did eight. No, wait, no, I might have that wrong. I think Ian did eight.
They do two at
Birdie
a
did
time.
nine. Okay, always two.
Hmm.
Maybe okay.
So 7 and 8, I think, was
I know Bill did
Ian,
four.
and then
Bill did
nine and
four.
10 was Birdie,
Yeah,
and then 11 and 12 was Bill.
Bill.
Bill
Yeah,
also
okay, yeah.
did 3 and 4. But yeah, so Bill was there, Phil was there, Bill and Phil, and a lot of the cast was gone because everyone
Oh
had
wow.
died.
All
Yeah.
right.
So I,
Duh.
I actually had to, I actually asked to stay a few days after I wrapped so that I could go to the wrap party. I was like, I want to go. Like, I want to like see everyone and, have a moment. And so I
Yeah.
stayed. I stayed a little bit longer, but not everyone else, like Patty wasn't there. Richard, all of those people,
Mm,
Mike Shaw, everyone was home.
right.
So, yeah, so we didn't really get that, but we had a fun night. We had a fun night
Nonetheless.
before when they all died. I think this was right when I came back. Was this right when I came back? I can't remember, but we were gonna go karaokeing again, but we ended up just going to the rooftop of the Park Hyatt and like having drinks and appetizers and hanging out. No one RSVP'd. I had like put it in the group chat. No one RSVP'd except like Richard and Sailor, I think, and maybe Taj. Everyone showed up. Everyone. Stephanie, Anthony Kerrigan, Joe, like, I mean, we were adding onto our table and like the front desk was getting so annoyed. But we all hung out and that's where that video of me, Stephanie, Sailor, and Patty in the bathroom
Oh my
came
God.
from.
So I just watched it again today. It's so good. It's so good. Who's
But we
who's
went we
shouting at
went
you guys?
um oh my God, who is? Danny. I think
Someone's
Danny.
like Sailor, and then it was like
Yeah,
Stephanie.
I think it's Mike, either Mike or Danny is shouting at us. Danny Fredericks, who is now Anthony's assistant. Um, but yeah, we went out afterwards to this like local bar, and we had the time of our lives. So I kind of feel like that was like a mini wrap party for us.
I would say so. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But as far as wrap
yeah.
gifts, we got the standard jackets, which are really cool from Stephanie, Michael, Anthony, from them. I think we got like Carhartt jackets with twisted metal on them. I'm trying to think
I
of
think
what
I just saw
else.
one recently. Is it like a double axe, kind of crossing
Yeah.
on the arm? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. One of the stunt performers just tagged me in that, and I thought it was a stunt jacket because of what he is. And then he messaged
Oh,
and was like, "Oh no, it's a production team." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I corrected it in the little notes, production team jacket.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that was cool. That was a great wrap gift. I got Sailor a a really cute bracelet, or was it a necklace? A necklace or a bracelet. And it's like a choker, but it has a bunch of nose rings and belly button rings and eyebrow rings like in between it. So I don't know, it felt very like crazy and of the world and mayhem, and I was like, this is so cute, So I got it for
Yeah.
her, and she tells me she wears it all the time. For Stephanie,
Oh,
I got her like a charmed necklace that has like her initial Brad, her
yeah.
daughters.
Her,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
The family. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family on there. And a bunch of little charms that symbolized like twisted metal and like the stuff that she likes. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I wrote everyone cards.
Those are cool stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like a doll face would have been a cool one. Like just a mask. Everybody gets a mask or something.
Taj got me a
Oh,
mask.
well, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Shout out to Taj. We're gonna be speaking with him
yeah.
soon too.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Sweetest man on
return
the
of Taj.
earth.
I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, some of you may know, but like I met Taj before season one even came out, and kind of like Big Mike Shaw, who came to Portland and still had dinner with me, and I've never even seen him play Axel yet. Just shout out to those guys for even
Oh,
taking a chance to like link up with me. Patty, who I
of
got to see at Groundlings,
course.
she just let me come and see her. So yeah, you guys are all
Yeah.
sweet. Appreciate it. Um. You got anything you're working on that you are able to promote or something to keep an eye out for that might be in the works?
No, not yet. But if you,
Another season? I mean,
oh, listen, I'm still waiting to hear about that too. So
yeah,
light your candles, say your prayers,
yeah. I
burn
think
some
Dave would say,
sage.
"Let's Sage." Yeah, there we go, Dave.
Yeah,
What a good Dave reference.
yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of, speaking of, I love the little
Oh, wait, how did we not talk about John O? How did we not?
Jono's cake, his 40th butt day cake. I,
I had so much fun. I wasn't there. And so I was like,
oh
oh,
yeah, yeah, okay.
so sad, and everyone's hanging out. But
Dave was so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is so fucking funny and like did such a great job in that role. He's so like honest and
Yeah.
well-meaning, you know? It was perfect.
I loved him up until he threatened to make a pile of boiling stew or is the line. Yeah. It was I love the walking emoji man. His hair is perfect, his teeth is perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Looking like a
Who is
TV
this
pilot.
guy? Who
Yeah,
is
it should
this
be on Maverick.
guy? Yeah. Yeah. He was just so much fun to be around, and like those days that we were all together, it was like so fun. So much
Yeah.
fun.
Anything else you remember from the hangar? That is such a great, just a fucking hangout episode. Just
Yeah.
meeting people of mayhem, instigating folks. You mentioned Lisa Gilroy.
Yeah.
I love the part where she's like, "Oh, what did he say about me?" Like it's like
Yeah.
that her turn. From like Berman to like, wait, what? Somebody was talking shit about me. Oh, that
I
motherfucker.
know.
Like all of
I
that. It's
know.
so good.
Yeah, it's really taking like all of these characters who are like, you know, wanting blood and like
Yeah.
ready to kill each other, and then making it into like a school setting of like who's sitting with who and who's gossiping about who, and really making all of them have those like immature juvenile thoughts of like, but I want to be a part of that, but I
Yeah.
why aren't
Stu
I
getting FOMO.
included?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just so well written. It's so perfect. But
So
yeah,
good.
those days were really, really long and really fun. And I think a bitch to shoot, honestly, because when the more people you have, the more coverage and more difficult it can be, especially with like continuity and stuff. So that's tough. And then especially when you throw in like stunts and driving in the cars and driving out the cars and what's allowed and all of that. It was very complicated. So props to the crew for getting through those days.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to end an episode with asking for some advice. We opened up the episode diving into a lot of the things you did. You mentioned, I think, 13, 15 year span of all the things I kind of listed. Um, what kind of advice can you give? Like, how do you balance that, going to school, living a life, working? What advice can you give to how to balance that so that way, you're taking care of yourself first, so that way you
Ooh.
don't burn out and all that stuff. Because again, you perform the national anthem at a football game. Come on. Like, I don't do foosball very much. Like, I'm an NBA guy, but
Mm.
I served 10 years in the army, and your
Wow.
rendition moved me because that song already itself, is just,
Yeah.
beautiful. And so, yeah, so just, yeah, watching you sing that, I was just like, oh my God, I could watch this over and over. But
Oh,
yeah, just
thanks.
how the hell did you get like the confidence, and the know-how to balance all of this stuff?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I'm still figuring that out. I
Stop.
really am. I am. And like, I think it's a battle every day. This business is like, ebbs and flows, and you really just have to move with it, and you have to figure out what's important to you and like what is going to get you through to the next day, and what your daily practice is, and committing to that, so that you stay as present and grounded as possible, and you don't get bitter and you don't get jaded. I think it's important to always try to have fun, like as much as possible. And there's always going to be days that feel like work, but like remember that, you're also serving to cater to that inner child that like loved this so much. I think about that a lot. I think about like little Tiana and what she would think. And um so anytime that, I'm kind of like in my head or I'm upset, I have to like I remember, or I'm not working, like the past couple of years have been really rough, to be completely honest with you. I've been so used to overworking myself and not really getting a moment to sit in and process, what I've done and what I could be doing. I just always moved from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and that has its pros and cons. So I guess my advice would be to slow down and enjoy the view, and be kind, not only to yourself but to other people. Um and always be like a student, always be willing to like learn from every experience that you enter. I think that that's important, like no matter how many jobs you've had, no matter how long you've studied your craft. I think what separates um what separates people is like oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
Always be
what
learning.
separ what separates the men from the boys is that idea of like of learning and being curious. So to keep the curiosity, I think that that's important. So I'm working on that every day. I'm working on like staying curious. I'm working on like nourishing that inner child and continuing to just be consistent in my practice.